Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's me, Mr. Anger, back with you for another episode of the Mr. Anger Show. Parental advisory. Not old enough to buy one of these. Yada yada yada. Ask your parents' permission. Parents learn what your children are watching, so on and so forth. I've warned you. That's enough. Now, there's a lot of things that's been going on. Sorry, it's been a week since I've done an episode. Had a death in the family, and then well, not an actual person, but had a pet pass away. We've been searching for another pet. We thought we had found one. Unfortunately, we can't get the dog, so we're going to keep searching for another animal to fill the needs of the kids and everything. We really wanted the dog that we had found. We took our time in trying to find the dog. Went to animal shelters about 45 miles around us, every animal shelter. Because I'm sorry, I'm not one of these people who goes out to a breeder and pays a big amount of money for an animal when you're going to have to invest a big amount of money in maintaining the care of an animal. Why do that? I don't know. It just seems illogical to me to do such a thing when there's so many animals and good animals that are in pounds and shelters and stuff like that. Unfortunately, we found finally a beagle that was really friendly. He's about 8 years old. He was really docile. The girls took to him and everything. But unfortunately, we took in a couple of cats a year ago from my mother. That was originally my sister's fiance's cats, and we don't have the records for them, so unfortunately, and we can't find out where they got fixed or anything. We know they're fixed because they had their ears docked, or not docked, but clipped. If you have pets, you'll know. But when you fix an animal, instead of doing the tattoo on their belly these days, they do clipping. They'll clip the ears, so it's easier to identify a tattoo. Fur can grow over and stuff like that. So with the ear clipping, you can tell easily. Unfortunately, though, we don't have the records for them. We can't find, and we've called every veterinarian around here in this area. There's no records for them, so unfortunately, we were denied the dog yesterday, and unfortunately, my girls were upset because they gotten extremely attached because I took them up there every day, so they could see the dog and play with the dog and get to know the dog. They got really attached, so I'm back to square one, starting over again. All because my two outdoor cats, I can't find the records for them being fixed. Oh well, I mean, I understand why they do it. I know why they do it. It's just one of those things. Now, as I was saying, there's been a lot of things in the news here lately. I try to stay out of the presidential election. I try to stay out of it. I just do. When it comes to articles about Trump and Hillary, it just, I try to stay the heck away. But when your news feed just gets astronomically, just everything's up in your face all the time, you can't help but notice certain stories. And yes, I am voting for Trump because I feel that he is the lesser of two evils. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat per se. I agree with some people from the Democratic side. I agree with some of their policies on the Democratic side. I agree with policies on the Republican side. I just find that I agree more with what Trump has to say than I do with what Hillary has to say. I mean, she has some good points too. And to tell you the truth, I mean, you could be for or against whoever you want to. I mean, it's a total crapshoot when it comes to this election. Because either one, just like any other election, no matter who wins or who loses, whoever gets in the White House, they could be great or they could be awful. Just as equally the same. So, I mean, support who you want to support, and I know it seems like I mention Trump a lot and I'm trying. It's not because I want to. It's just because the media has such a bias towards Trump, and it's been proven time and time again. Like take for instance, the DNC was hacked, and a bunch of information came out that proves a bunch of corruption with the Democratic Party. And all the news seems to focus on is the Khan family and what. As far as it goes with that family and stuff like that, Trump never said anything bad about the son. Uh, yeah, yeah. Khans, you picked a battle. You did, and that's what you did. You sat there and you called out Trump, and then you want to play victim when he fires back. You know, you don't call someone out and then when they call and when they answer, get upset and play victim. No, you call them out. You started this. You're going to deal with it. Trump doesn't owe them an apology. They're the ones to pick the battle, and that's the end of the story as far as I'm concerned. I mean, you don't sit there and you don't try to purposely, goat somebody and then play victim when they respond. It doesn't work that way. No, you go to somebody, you call someone a name, you call somebody out, and they answered and they retaliated. That's your own damn fault. Be responsible for your own actions, people. And the Khan family needs to be responsible for their own damn actions. I know Sarah Palin's son got up there and said, well, he's a soldier, he got some medals and stuff like that. And he says, I demand an apology from Trump for the Khans. I demand he apologizes to the Khans. You're not a real soldier. I can tell you that right now. I don't care what your medals say. I don't care what uniform you're wearing. You're not a real soldier. Because a real soldier understands certain things. A real soldier believes in the principles that they fight for and the reason why they fight. That's a real soldier. A real soldier joins the military, goes in and believes in what the military does. Protects its people. Protects their rights. And everybody has the right to dislike anybody. I mean, a true soldier knows that, not everybody's going to agree with what the military does. And they're going to have to deal with protesters. They'll walk past protesters and they won't say a daggone thing because they know they fought for the right for you to be against them. And that's kind of sad. They knew that they're fighting for your right to be against what they do. And that's your right, and that's your prerogative. And they won't say a damn thing to you. That's a true soldier. It's sad that people think that way about the military. I do say that because they do fight to keep our freedoms and our rights and our liberties. A true soldier, would never demand somebody to apologize for anything. They fight for our rights. They understand that. They understand there's going to be differences of opinions and differences of thoughts and stuff like that. And trust me, I grew up around the military. My father was in the military, my uncle, my other uncle, my grandfather, my great-grandfather. I come from a military family. My other uncle, oh my God, I've been to so many military bases, it's not even funny. I've been on them, been in them, and I've always run across 3 different types of soldiers. And it used to be 4 back in the day. Back in the day when there used to be, a judge would sit there and say, okay, instead of being sentenced to prison, you can join the military. That's been out for a while. My friend's father, he served in Vietnam. He's a great man. I love this man to death. I respect this man wholeheartedly. He was sentenced. It was part of his deal. The judge says you can either go to jail for this, or you can go to join the military. He did. And he went to war. That used to be the 4th option way back in the day. That's not even, I don't think, an option anymore. But you usually see 3 different types of people who join the military. The first type is the type that graduates school, lives in a dead-end town, not a dead-end town, but a town that doesn't want to provide a future for them. They want to escape the town, and they use the military to get out, and to further their education, and to establish them someplace else, because they know that if they stay in an area, just like here in the town that I live in, there's not much of a future here for you. I mean, there isn't. Not unless you're a police officer, doctor, lawyer, judge, or a teacher. You're not going to make it in this part very well. You're not. You're going to struggle. And most of it's factory, fast food work, or retail. And even then, the jobs are kind of scarce because there's only so much here. So if you burn a bridge with one company, you probably burn a bridge with a few other companies. So the options here are very slim. So when you graduate, you can't afford college. The military is a decent option. You want to get out of this town, get to some place that's more established where you can have a future. The military will do that for you. It'll give you discipline. It'll give you honor, and you can join up and use the college funding and get an education and create a future for you. That's one type right there. Then you have the people who join it for career advancements. Sarah Palin's son, let's be honest. He wants to be in the political arena so bad, but he wants that nice little check mark, have he served in the military, on his resume. And that's the only reason he's in there. And there's people like that, and I've seen them a dime a dozen. People who join, who want to use the military to build their background and stuff like that, which I don't mind everybody doing, or anybody doing that. What I mind is that, I don't know what to say here. I don't mind, like the person who comes in, who joins and does it for, hey, I've joined the military, I'm going to serve my 4 years. It'd be great for the background for the FBI or CIA or NSA or something like that. I don't mind those people, not at all, because some people actually do that. But those who use it for political clout, they just, I don't know. I don't get them. My family's never got them, and we stay away from them. It's just, they're different. They think different. And then you have the person who joins for the right reasons, for the soldier who joins for, I want to defend our liberties. I want to fight it for what's right. Those are the soldiers that my family respect the most. That don't sit there and say, we need thanks. No. They get thanks, they appreciate it, but other than that, they don't expect any thanks. They do it because they do what's right. And those are the soldiers I respect the most. I respect all soldiers. All soldiers do the same thing. They are in there, and if there's a wartime, they're going to be facing the same situations. I do respect them all, but during, peacetime, when you can differentiate the attitudes like that, you can see the differences in between the soldiers, it kind of makes for an uneven military. My uncle said that plenty of times, and he's one of the higher ups in the military. He's getting ready to retire, actually. I'd hope so, at least. Or at least that's what he said. He's been in there since he was that age, at 18, so he's in almost 60 now. Gosh. No, he's in his mid-50s. Mid-50s, sorry. But my other uncle, he retired, I think, 5 years ago. My other uncle, he retired. That's just through personal observations and stuff like that, and from what our family has seen. We usually see 3 different types of soldiers. The one that comes in there for the glory, for the recognition of it, the political person, or the person who goes in there and wants to escape from their town, the dead-end future that they see for themselves, and wants to actually make something out of them and uses it as a developing tool. That's fine. That's perfect. That's dandy. I mean, no matter what your reason when you join during wartime, the result's going to be the same either way. You're going to be in there and you're all going to be fighting side by side. So I respect soldiers completely. I do. I have a huge respect for our military. Huge respect. They do the unthinkable so that we can sleep at night and enjoy our freedoms. They don't get enough thanks and recognition as far as I'm concerned in my book. But, alright, to each is their own. Now, yeah, the Khan family, they decided to pick a fight. People need to drop that. But, of course, the media bias is pushing that story across everything. Everything. Every time you turn around. Trump this, Trump that, Trump this, Trump that, and they completely ignore the corruption of the Democratic National Convention. Makes perfect sense. But no, there's no media bias. No. No such thing. No such thing. No such thing. Like I said, I'm not Republican or Democrat or anything like that. I agree with principles on both sides. As far as when I look at things as in right and wrong. I think I do agree with the Democrats on abortion. I do. I mean, it's woman's choice, woman's right. I mean, personally, if I had, my wife got pregnant and said, "Hey, she brought up the term abortion," I'd be firmly against it. I mean, not unless it would cause complication to her or cause her to lose her life. I probably wouldn't even consider it. It's just that's a personal decision when it comes to anything. Abortion is a personal decision. That's a choice for people to make. I see it all the time. People who shouldn't be parents have kids, and it's tragic. It's tragic. They should have made the right decision because those kids are. I know that some people will argue with me, but they're alive and they can turn out to be fine. The ones that I've seen that have been left in the streets and be raised by the streets usually die on the streets. It's the way of the world. Some people just don't deserve to be parents, and they need to make the right call. And some people don't make the right call, and unfortunately, a child pays the price for their bad decisions. Abortion is a personal decision. If it's not right for you, don't do it. If it is something you're not going to be a good, viable parent, or whatever you decide, then have one. I mean, that's up to you. That's your decision. That isn't mine. I mean, my wife had an abortion before I even met her, but at the time she was young. She was inexperienced. She didn't know anything about having a baby, and she was poor, and so. She made the right decision for herself, and I can't fault her for that. Even though I'm against it personally, I can't fault her for that. I can't fault her for something that I had no clue on. That's a personal decision. She made a personal decision, and it kind of bothers me she had an abortion because I could have a third child running around here, but that was her decision. That was her decision, and I'm not going to fault her for that. I didn't know her circumstances and situations back then. I was nowhere around. I wasn't nowhere near her. So she had to do what was right for her, and she did. And I can't fault her for that. Now, like I said, she came to me today, and she mentioned abortion, and if it wasn't, a lethal thing towards her, yeah, we'd probably have it out. Not have it out like as in, I would beat the hell out of you. You're not having an abortion. Ah! No, I'm talking about, words. I don't know what it is with people when you say, I'm going to have it out with you, and they think automatically you're going to throw up dukes. Why is that? No, when I say I'm going to have it out with you, I'm saying I'm going to discuss things with you. We're going to discuss. Whether you want to yell or scream and cuss, that's up to you. But know this, you yell and scream and cuss at me, I'm going to yell and scream and cuss right back at you. Now, I was going to do, I agree with Republicans on the immigration. I do. I'm sorry. People have broken the law. to be here. And they know they have broken the law. You want to know how I know they don't know? Nah, I can't. I put too many no's in that sentence, and it just fucked me up. You want to know how I know that they know what they're doing is illegal? I lived in Dallas, Texas for quite some time. Yes, unfortunately, we deal with the stereotypical illegal immigrant, the one that everybody thinks of, Mexicans, quite a bit. Um, Now, had a guy, he's a good friend of mine when I was living in Dallas. He entered the country legally. He hates illegals. Hates them. Fucking hates them with a passion. He's from Mexico. He can't stand an illegal. He had to do, he had to learn things. He had to pay his own way. He came here legally. And I respect him. And that's why me and him became friends. I respect a person who does things the right way. You do things the right way, you've shown that you deserve respect. But coming here illegally, no. Let's say I open this house up. Let's say right here, right now, sling the doors open and I'll invite the equivalent of a nation full of people to live inside this house. I say the equivalent due to the size of the house. So we're talking about equivalency here, so don't picture an entire nation in here. Picture asses to elbow in here with a little tiny room for you to just curl up on the floor. Equally proportionate with sex, religion, and race. Now, this is my house. I'm providing them a safe haven for everybody, right? Now, if people are coming in here illegally, overcrowding it, I can guarantee people's safety because at the rate that we're increasing, the force structures may not be able to hold that amount of people, or this or that or the other. I don't know. It's just it gets complicated, and it gets complicated weekly or very quickly. But let's say I start noticing a problem. That a certain person from a certain religion is causing chaos and violence inside of this house. Well, it happens once, I dismiss it as a coincidence. Hey, it's an argument that got out of control. Let it be. Let it be. Second time, I'm going to start to question things. Third time, no, I'm going to start refusing entry to people that follow that particular religion, and it's not to be mean or cruel. It's just because I promised safety to the people that live in this house. I promised them that I'd keep them safe. And how can I keep them safe if I notice an established pattern of a certain religion that's attacking and killing people inside of my place? How can I guarantee the safety of everybody? I can't. And it seems cruel. It seems bad that I have to stop admitting people. But you know what? Once I stop admitting that religious group, they're going to be like, well, you're picking on them. No. And I want to explain to them, look, we've had 3 violent occurrences inside of this home, inside of this representative country right here. So we got to figure out a way how to spot the good guys from the bad guys. And hopefully a person from one of those that particular type of religion will say, well, that I understand, but here's how you start. I mean, I respect the hell out of somebody to come up and said, I will show you how to spot the difference in between a person who believes in the Muslim faith. I mean, we might as well talk about it, and the difference in between the extremist Muslim. I would respect that because it's, and it says, it's not fair that you go against all, but I understand why you're doing it. So let me help you find a way to properly vet and get people in here. Because until I figure out a way to identify the troublemakers, I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop letting them in until I figure out a way to guarantee everybody that comes into this home or this country safety. It's just the way I am. I'm not going to gamble with people's lives. I'm not going to gamble. That's just stupid. I can't do that. Um, I know it seems cruel to do such a thing, but if you approach it the right way and you explain it to them with compassion and say, look, hey, we've had a lot of problems out of your religious group, and we got, extremists that are blending people inside with you that are causing problems, so we got to figure out a proper way to vet and figure out how to spot the extremists. And I respect the hell out of the Muslim people that come forward and sit there and say, because we need the Muslims. We need them more than ever. We need the Muslim population to be on our side with this, because we need them to come up, and we need the respectability of these people to come up and say, well, this is how we believe, but this is how you spot the extremists. Where are those people? Because, I would feel that, they don't want that unfair. I mean, it's not unfair, but, they understand, but they see that, hey, there's refugees out here that need shelter. How can I guarantee them safety if I can't guarantee the safety of my own people? How? It's illogical. Help me figure out a way to properly vet these people, so that way I can grab a hold of the refugees and say, okay, we figured out a way to properly vet. We figured out a way to spot the extremist from the person who just happens to believe in the Muslim religion or the Muslim faith. Where are the people who are willing to help us do this? Instead, people just want to fight each other and go, no, that's discriminatory. No, it's not. It's called keeping people safe and not gambling with people's lives. I don't know. I don't get it. So I agree with Trump on those two issues. Come to this country legally. Let's figure out a proper vetting process so that we can keep our country safe and our fellow people safe. And that way we can start letting in refugees and figuring out a way to weed out the bad from the good. But instead, people want to fight. I don't know why it is. Oh, Black Lives Movement has finally come to this area. Not where I'm at, but about a half hour from here. There's a huge college town and a sister college. Of course, as soon as the college students come back, Black Lives Movement protest. I'm not trying to say this to be mean or cruel or anything like that. I'm just trying to say it to be truthful. If you're blocking the highway, you're not in a crosswalk. I'm going to honk once. You better get the hell out of the way, because you're breaking the law. And I ain't stopping. I'm doing what a vehicle's supposed to do on the damn road, and that's be on the road. The road's no place for humans. There's plenty of sidewalks in that town, the town that these people are protesting at. Stay on the sidewalk. Police, do your jobs. Arrest the people that get out in the highway, that are out in the roads. That's illegal. You can't block a roadway. It is illegal in this state. And you should be arrested for illegal deeds. I'm sorry. Face up for your responsibilities. Take self-responsibility for your actions. Oh, you're just arresting me because I'm protesting. Da, 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 da. No, we're arresting you because you're doing something stupid and illegal. And you shouldn't be. I could care less. You can sit there on the sidewalk and go, Black BLM all daggone day. I'll just walk past and keep going. And you know how I feel about the BLM. I'm sorry. I have a little bit of a personal distaste towards them. Because of the BLM, my daughter was sexually assaulted. Sexually assaulted on the school bus. Videotape footage of it and everything. But because the person that sexually assaulted my daughter happens to be an opposite color and claim racism for some reason. Oh, yeah, this little bastard claims racism because my daughter, who doesn't want to date, told her that, no, I don't want to date. I'm not interested in boys. It was called a racist. Automatically. Same boy that earlier in the year that she told, no, I don't want to date. I'm not looking forward to dating anybody. She's 13 years old. I don't want her to fucking date. She's not interested in that stuff. And my wife said, it's a common occurrence around here. She went to school around here too, and she had a nice friend of hers. She saw him as a friend. He was an opposite color, and he read a little bit too much into her friendly ways and asked her out for a date. And when he told her, or when she told him no, hey, you're racist. I don't know. People are quick, so damn quick to pick up the racist card anymore. Every time I see somebody pull the racist card, I just want to grab it from their hand, rip it up into little tiny pieces, and then give them like thousands of paper cuts, and then give them a lemon-soaked bath. Oh, God, I'm so sick of it. But because the family claimed, she's racist because she didn't want to go out with me. No, she doesn't want to be out with boys. She's 13 years old. She's just started her womanly thing. Ugh. So, I mean, yeah, she's just discovering her body and figuring out a lot of things for her damn self. So I'm glad she's not interested in boys. No, she's not racist. She knows she can date anybody she fucking wants to. I could care less. Grades better be up to par. That's the only thing I ask from my girl. You better bring home good grades and do your chores. That's it. That's it. Nothing below a C. And that's a lot more stringent than my father was. Nothing below an A or a B. And that's the way I had to go through things. But, no. I mean, I'm pretty lenient, I don't care who you date. Whatever makes you happy makes you happy. I don't give a damn. And she knows that. She knows that. But because there's any racism, and because of this BLM movement, guess where this case has gone? Absolutely fucking nowhere. And then they want to sit there and complain about injustice. You want to know injustice? Boy holds my daughter down while another boy sticks his hands all up and down my daughter. And nothing has been done about it since. That's injustice. And they don't want to do anything because Commonwealth's attorney, or no, I wouldn't say Commonwealth's attorney, but whoever it is saying racism, we need to lay off this because of the BLM and it being in the news. So we're going to let things calm down and simmer down until that's over. Then we'll reapproach this case when there's clearly a damn wrong that happened against my daughter. So yeah, I do have a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth for the BLM. Just a little bit. Because of them. Because of this national stink that they cause, my daughter can't get justice. Oh, well, we can't get justice. What, you think injustice is exclusive to just one person, one race, one group? No, injustice happens to us all. It does. You think what happened to my daughter is unjust? Alright? Well, guess what? I can bring up a lot more injustice that I've been through. My brother murdered, while the other one was made handicapped for the rest of his life by a doctor who failed to do his job. The only thing he got was to lose his license. He committed hara-kiri by the time I found out. I was 7 at the time. I was 7 at the time when all this happened. But because of a doctor failing to do his job and do what's right, one of my brothers, when they were born, they were twins. One lived for about a week. The other was handicapped for the rest of his life because the doctor failed to do his damn job. And all he did was lose his license. He knowingly knew that he could have done this surgery and saved both babies and made both of them normal. But he didn't do nothing. He let them die. He let my brother die. And he left my other brother handicapped for life. And you think I don't know injustice? All he got to do was lose his medical license in a simple lawsuit. Money that would provide for Casey, my brother, that would give him wheelchair equipment and pay for the things that he needed because of this man. 2 years. I think I was 7. Yeah, so when I was 14, I found out the truth about what happened. All I remember was seeing a bunch of blood that day. I don't remember much. Panicking, worried, scared. Then I found out at the age of 14 when they told me what happened to my brother and stuff like that, that, you know, the doctor committed Harry Carey 2 years earlier. Oh, but we know nothing of injustice, right? How about less than a year ago? My niece was murdered. You know what? They're not going to give them the death penalty. They're going to get life. I think he gets life plus 10. She gets life plus 5. Because of no sexual contact, they don't get, or no sexual demeanor, or they didn't vaginally penetrate, or no sexual contact was performed on her. But when they killed her, it's not capital. They'll get life. That's it. They'll sit for the rest of their lives behind bars for killing a little 13-year-old girl in a most horrendous and heinous way. I'm not going to get into specific details on how exactly she died, but she died horribly. That's not justice. That isn't justice. Life behind bars is injustice. She didn't get a choice on how she had to check out of this world. They shouldn't get a choice either. They get to die of natural causes behind bars. Get to cost taxpayers thousands of dollars for us to take care of them. Give me 2 bullets and I'll sleep like a fucking baby tonight. I swear to God I will. But that's not my call. I give the gun to my brother, or to Nicole's brother, Blaine. Have fun. Beat him to death, or almost to death first with the gun first. I mean, metal gets skin and bone. Make them feel the pain they made her feel. That's not justice. That's injustice. I'll save you taxpayers money. If he doesn't have the stomachs or stones to do it, I know he does. But if he doesn't want to do it for any particular reason, I'll do it. 2 bullets to the back of the head and I'll save the taxpayers thousands. Quickly and immediately. So injustice isn't just one-sided, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't just affect one particular sex, one particular race, one particular religion. Injustice is found all around. You know, I could sit here and cry my beer and you know, I mention these stories not out of pity. I'm just trying to prove a point here. I don't want pity. I don't want nothing from it. Only thing I'm trying to do is give you an example and give you proof that injustice happens to everyone. And it can happen to anybody at any time. But I'm not going to sit here and cry my goddamn beer and go, woe's me for the rest of my life, because what good is that going to do? It's going to give the people that caused the injustice a bigger victory. A victory over me. A victory over my family. No. We will grieve for our losses in a time-appropriate manner, but we will move on. Because we're not going to become part of the injustice, of another victim of the injustice. I know where that little boy that sexually assaulted my daughter lives. You want to know how hard it is to drive past his house? Because of his age. Because of his age. It's the only reason I haven't stopped and done anything. Oh my God. Oh my God. Injustice happens to us all. And we could all sit here and wallow in our beers and stuff. But what the hell is that going to get us? We got to move on. We got to move on. You can't become victims of injustice yourselves. Move on. Injustice happens to everybody, every sex, every race, every religion. It's not exclusive to anybody. It's sad that it happens. It is. It's tragic that it happens. But what can you do at times? What can you do? There's nothing I can do about this. Oh, there is stuff that I can do. Trust me. There is stuff that I can do about these situations, but who's going to provide for my family if I go behind bars for killing someone? I got to think about that. I got to think about what's right for my family. So, you can either become a victim of injustice or just move past it. Yeah, it sucks. It sucks that it happens. And I think our justice system needs to be repealed. Like Obama the other day. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be mean or cruel or anything, but him sitting there pardoning all these daggone criminals. Sorry. They become criminals. They knew what they were doing was illegal. They got caught. They must pay for their crime. Sorry. Own up to your actions. Self-responsibility. I am a huge believer in that. And pardoning people? No. Sorry. Yeah. I do believe, yes, personally, I do believe drugs should be made legal and that it should be federally regulated. And it would alleviate a lot of this mob activity, a lot of this drug running activity. It actually decrease the gun running because you wouldn't have to have people armed to protect drug shipments. Makes sense, right? But then again, it is illegal as right now. And I'm a firm person on right and wrong. If you get busted for drugs, you know you're doing something illegal. So take self-responsibility and do the time. It seems like nobody believes in self-responsibility anymore. And it's a shame. It's a shame. It's a crying shame. You can either let injustice define you, or you can become better than the injustices. And I choose to become better. I can fall victim and pray to it, cry, and then my beer about my brother, about my niece, about my daughter, about this or that or the other. What good? Like I said, what good is that going to fucking do? It's not going to do a goddamn bit of good. It's like people sitting there saying racism is one-sided. No, racism happens on all sides. Go on to Twitter. Oh my God. They have confused white people party, and then they have a confused black people party. Then they have the next day something black this and something like this. Really? You people just love egging each other the fuck on. Knock it the fuck off. Grow the hell up. Racism happens on all sides. And all sides are just as racist as the next fucking race. Trust me on this one. Oh, but I've never seen a racist black person. No. Come here. Come here. Come here. There's 3 people that I know. 3 people that happen to be opposite colors than what I am that are in the KKK. That's just that I know of. I'm sorry, I don't go to the local KKK neighborhood just to find out who everybody is. I'm not stupid. I don't like the people, so I stay the fuck away from them. They have their little area, niche of area, and they can stay the fuck over there. As long as they don't harm anybody or destroy property, you know what? The rest of the town can give a fuck what the hell they do. We know where they're at, but they remain peaceful. They remain silent. They work with charities. Why the hell are we going to start stirring shit up with them? No fucking point. I know more African Americans that fly the Confederate flag. I could take you to a police officer right now in this town who is African American that loves the Confederate flag. But yeah, people want to argue about a piece of cloth and fucking die all the time. Oh, it's racist, it's racist. Shut the fuck up. Give me that goddamn race card. Give me the lemon juice. Give me the lemon juice. I'm the fucker biggest lemon juice bag he ever had. God, we fight about needless and useless shit. It just pisses me off anymore. Oh, this episode is running way too long. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be on here, hopefully here in the next few days Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Mr. Anger. If you do, thank you, subscribers. I appreciate you and your support. Like some comments down below. Tell me if you agree or disagree with me. I mean, call me an asshole. Call me everything but a decent human being. Or right down there. I don't care. Have fun. Enjoy. Give me some new topics to talk about, people. I'm Mr. Anger. I ran this episode way too damn long. Y'all have a good one.